Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are joining us from, you are welcome to another episode of the Diaspora Global Panel. With me today, I have Anthony at the United States studio and Jude Unwaokolo from the Irish studio. I am Olakunle Lemboye, joining you from Canada. Today, we just want to wish our country, Nigeria, a happy independent celebration. 62, Nigeria, a country, was born. We got our independence from the British, and we started this journey. We started, the journey of living together, as one entity, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, and other ethnic groups, to form a country that we are all referring to as Nigeria. I'm proud to be a Nigerian. Let me just do my weekly checkup on my friends, my family. Anthony Eze, how are you today? Happy Independence celebration.
Happy Independence celebration to everyone. Usually it's a great day. I remember when we used to march along in the school to remember the independence anniversary. We thank God for today. We wish both Nigerians at home and Nigerians in diaspora happy independence anniversary.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Jude, yeah, what do you have to say to Nigerians?
Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone watching. I would have preferred to call this a mourning day for Nigeria, a day of mourning, not a day of celebration, based on what is going on, what we have seen this year, and what has been going on without changes. So for someone to come out to celebrate today, I don't see any value in that. And as such, I refer to it as a mourning day for Nigeria. And the people who call it Independence Day should ask us, tell me why they should celebrate today. The authorities in question should let us know why they should celebrate today. So that's where I put it. It's not a celebration for me. It's a day of mourning for those who have lost their life without no reason. Would have been avoided. So I pay kudos to them and I mourn for them this day. Thank you.
Yes, October 1st, 1960, yeah, Nigeria was born. I am happy to be a Nigerian. I am proud to be a Nigerian, and I'm happy to celebrate our detachment from the British colonialism. Yes, we have our challenges. We're going to talk about a couple of them. We're going to talk about 62 years after Nigeria became a country. What do we have to show for it? Vis-a-vis the experiences of the citizens of Nigeria, where we were before and where we are now. We will try and share a couple of experiences. I've got one to share with our viewers. Especially, I was talking to an elderly woman who celebrated her 70th birthday, I think September 22nd or September 25, I've forgotten. And she was sharing, when our first year at University of Ibadan, I think 1968, what her experiences were. And I realized that, wow, Nigeria has retrogressed. The country has kind of gone extremely backward. However, having said that, I want to say October 1st, yes, I'm celebrating, and I'm happy that Tony said it. Jude, A day of mourning, I don't think so. But we are free to hear our view. This is the Diaspora Global Panel. A
Yeah.
couple of our audiences will share your thought, but we are celebrating myself and Tony. So let me start with Tony. Tony, you have been around for longer. You know, I'm talking about myself. And I think probably, I'm not sure, you were born probably a year before or after independence. I'm not sure. So I would say you have been around before me. What were what were your experiences, you see, in the early period of our independence, and how have you seen Nigeria progress or retrogress, if I may say? Tony, over to you.
Yes. I wasn't old enough during the independence.
But you were
So,
born then, yeah? You were born then.
the early 60s. So I heard
Okay.
stories about what transpired and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, before I want to go there, let me back up a little bit with what Jude said. A lot of Nigerians will share the same feeling with Jude.
Yeah.
But one thing people tend to forget is that there are a lot of things you have that you don't value until you lose it.
Hmm.
If you ask Ukraine now, Ukraine will prefer to be the way Nigeria is without
Hmm.
going to war.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because if not for any other thing, we are not at war in Nigeria. So we should value that. And again, we know that whatever problem we are having is not evenly distributed in Nigeria. Some areas are better than the others.
Mhm.
But the real truth is that we are retrogressing.
Hmm.
Because when you compare with other African countries, we are not doing very well. But be that as it may, we still believe we can do better. Now, in the 70s, there are a lot of things that are happening now that is like an atrocity. During that, you need more dollars to buy a Nigerian pound or Nigerian naira. But here we are today, very, very, very discouraging. I stand to be corrected, but the exchange rate is hovering around 700, 720, 730 to a dollar. That's a very sad news.
Hmm.
The kind of killing, kidnapping, these were not in the 70s. In the 70s, the military would have come in to resolve the problem. Where we are now, no water, no regular electricity, people embezzle our money. We know they've done it, and nobody is being punished because they belong to the powers that be.
Hmm.
Somebody, an average Nigerian, will ask you, what are you celebrating? We know it's an annual event. Whereas most Nigerians at home, even in diaspora, expected this anniversary to be marked, not just like the way you mark your birthday without making noise and celebrating. Because the mood of the nation
Hmm.
does not warrant any celebration. People are highly distressed. People are afraid of their life. People are being killed and maimed every day. And the government is not taking any some serious international steps to settle this. So, what exactly are we celebrating? What kind of success are we celebrating? The government is aware that things are not going well. But okay, seeing the president, this is his last tenure, well, we can give it to him that he want to be seen as celebrating the last independence anniversary. But the
Hmm.
mood of the nation, the trend of events, the value of goods and services in Nigeria does not give any person room to rejoice. All we need to let them know is that the masses are highly educated, politically and economically, so you don't need to deceive any person. It is now left for the Nigerian masses to realize that these people they don't have our interests at heart. That no matter their situation, no matter their status, they will go ahead and celebrate as if all is well. All they need to do is that this is a wonderful opportunity to use their vote judiciously and elect people of their choice.
Thanks a lot, Tony. Honestly, I share from your frustration, and I wasn't actually totally discarding what Jude said, but Jude said a day of mourning. And I know that Nigerians are frustrated. And if I would be honest with you, I am not happy. Our naira is crashing on a daily basis. And it seems those handling our fiscal policy don't have any answer for it. So I must say, I am not happy. We know that things are becoming more and more difficult on a daily basis. We know that Nigerians are suffering. There was this guy, Festus Keyamo. He said something. And even people close to Ashiwaju, close to President Muhammadu Buhari, are calling for his sack. He said that Nigerians are too hungry to bother with, I think he said, Muslim ticket or whatever. You see, for you to say that, you are representing the ruling party. And you acknowledged it, that Nigerians are hungry. It speaks volume. And it shows a lot that the center is not holding in Nigeria. However, I've got hope. I have got hope. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And why am I saying this? The awareness is waxing stronger and stronger. We can see the obedience. They are taking over the street. Today, they promised to march, and they did. We are seeing agitations from left, right, and center. So for me, I've got hope. And I must say that, we should have hope as well. So let me go to Jude, because I know Jude has a lot to say. Jude, what do you have to say about, just kind of assess it, 1960 up to date? What have you noticed? Has Nigeria moved forward, or have we moved backward?
Dr. Kule, thank you so much. Let me ask a question here. If a father loses 3 children this year, and today is his birthday, do you think he will come out to celebrate his birthday? That's a question for Nigerians.
No.
If somebody wake up in the morning and lost a child, and that same day is his birthday, will he celebrate his birthday? No, we have to think. No. We have to reason. We have to think as human beings. Since 2015, about 60,000 Nigerians have died due to insecurity in Nigeria. That's an average of 26 deaths every day in Nigeria. That is just, I'm not talking about insecurity. Killings. Over 60,000 people have died for 7 years. This year alone, how many have died? And what are we telling the families that have died? Do you think the families that they lost their children will come out and celebrate, go to the parade today? I mean, we have to reason ourselves. We are fathers, and you can't lose a child and celebrate your birthday. It's supposed to be a mourning day for the whole country. And we don't deceive ourselves. Let's call the reality. Let us call a spade a spade. I'm not bullying anybody. I'm not trying to bring anybody down, but we're talking about reality. We're talking about reality.
Let me just ask you a question, because
that's one point. That's only one point I've just mentioned to you. So what do we celebrate?
Mentioned
a day of mourning for Nigerians. Okay, go on. I'm listening.
Yes, Tony mentioned our dollar rate. Tony mentioned, poverty, and so on. you had mentioned insecurity. Can we just, because I believe that in the early days, because we are just doing a comparative analysis of different periods, okay? Immediately after independence, Nigeria experienced a war. So, and I must say that we cannot, boldly say that there wasn't insecurity at that time. Okay,
no,
because
the point I'm trying to make,
Nigeria experienced a war. So I'm just asking, I'm throwing it to you. What do you think are the major differences, in terms of how has Nigeria, retrogressed? Because, and I know that for you, Nigeria has moved backward, and I know that as well. But I don't want to report those specific aspects, that are kind of dissimilar, okay, to what we experienced in the early days of our independence. That's Jude.
The point, the issue is this: if I go and analyze what you are asking now at the moment, it will look as if I'm criticizing the present regime, because all the symptoms of what we're all about for the last 62 years resides on this present regime. So if I cannot just stop saying something without quoting what is happening, because the symptoms of this issue is all included in this regime alone. So it's not like I'm criticizing them, but I'm trying to say I'm trying to point out what it is, and there's no way I cannot mention it. There's no way I can exclude it, even though it affects the present regime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my point here. I'm not trying to pick on Buhari regime or whatever, but all the symptoms of what you are saying since last 62 years ago resides on this regime. And we have not seen any improvement from any angle. What are you going to talk about?
It's still a continuous
corruption, or whatever. What are we going to talk about? Where do we start from? I don't know where to start from. Mass exodus of Nigerians, all going abroad. Diasporans, everybody wants to go out. People are massively traveling out. We are sending over $24 billion every year to Nigeria, from diaspora to Nigeria. That means that if we don't send money to Nigeria, that means they will not survive. What does it mean? 30 years ago, 40 years ago, were we sending money? How many Nigerians were in diaspora? How much were sent to Nigeria then? Nothing. Nobody wants to travel out. In the 1980s, I have uncles who went to London, came back, and they don't want to go back again. I have uncles who started a job and they got a free car with air condition in Lagos. I saw them with my eyes. The very day they start a job, the next day they gave them a car, air conditioned car. In the 1980s, my uncle was one of the beneficiaries. But now nobody wants to say now. Everybody's traveling out because there's nothing for them there. So what am I going to talk about here? Everything is shambles. And there's no room. I don't see the light coming. You're talking about hope. Hope is why human beings live. If without hope, we are all dead. So fine, I agree with you, there's hope. But where's the signs of the hope coming from? Where's the signs? I mean, if you see a sign of hope, I'm not saying we are better than other countries. Ghana is improving. They're not doing better than much like us, but they have hope. We see the signs of hope in the country. We see the signs of hope in Rwanda. We see the signs of hope
in Burundi.
Hope that things will get better. But in Nigeria, there's no hope. There's nothing that will cheer a man up and say, yes, one day it's going to be better. There's nothing like that. Everything's dying down. Everything's deteriorating. Since 2 years, Nigeria don't have a stable electricity. Is that a country, a populous country of Nigeria, a giant of Africa? When you say 3 people in abroad, they say that anybody you call, they say you are Nigerian. Whether you are black or you just look at us. Whether every black man in the West, in abroad, is a Nigerian. So Nigeria is anyone they say. And yet our country have no light, no water. Citizens, when you build a house in Nigeria, you have to provide your own electricity. You have to provide your own water. You have to provide everything, your security in your own house. Tell me where we start from. Where's the hope? There's no hope for your average Nigerians.
Let me go to Tony. Tony, what do you say to those people that are quick to criticize especially people from the diaspora, that like Jude, you see, pinpointing deficiencies in the system. What do you say to them, to those people that are quick to criticize, that are quick to lambast, as if Nigeria belongs to only them? It's as if they say that you don't live in Nigeria, you don't have right to talk about the country. What do you have to say? Because we are seeing what is happening. We see improvement in other climes, but specifically Nigeria, in fact, you cannot boast that the dollar rate or the foreign exchange rate that you have today, okay, will be stable, you see, for the next 3, 4, 5 days. Today, you sent me something, you said the dollar is exchanging for $1 to 730 naira. I was in shock. What am I seeing? Is this my country? Tony, I just want you to address, especially those, and I am talking specifically about the elite in Nigeria. Because you see, and I've got a couple of them as friends, where you post something that is an eye opener, you know, about certain deficiency in the system. Before you know it, they start attacking you. That as if you don't have any right to even you know, to call out issues in the country. What do you have to say to them?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Kunle. That's a nice question. You see, Nigeria, for those who have been watching our episodes, I always tell them that what's going on in Nigeria is an organized crime. They know the solution. The cabal know the solution, but that's the only way they can survive. You see, what is bringing all this problem is lawlessness and indiscipline. And because you have sacred cows that cannot be punished no matter what kind of crime they commit. You see, the case of, and I always want to sometimes let those who are in diaspora, some of us in diaspora speak as if it's so easy to clean up Nigeria. No, there is a kind of framework in place. If you go in there to clean it up, it's either you are dead or you are disqualified for one thing or the other. Because there is a rule. You got to play by their rule, not by your own foreign rule. What we have done is that people illegally clean up all the available dollars in Nigeria because they are preparing for the election. They need it. So they don't care how the masses are faring. As far as they have this dollar stock, waiting to distribute it as bribery, lobbying, whatever name you want to give it. What Nigeria is going is what you call artificial problem. Some of them are not real; they are man-made. And if you, for example, you bring, let's assume we rewind the clock, and you bring colonial masters who will stop those who are managing our resources, you will be amazed that Nigeria will bounce back.
Yes.
Look at the oil. Look at the oil. The cabal distributed the oil block among themselves. Most of the revenue we are supposed to get from the oil are going into private pockets. And because the powerful people are involved, even if you caught them on video red-handed, there is nothing they can do about it. Because it is an organized crime. If you want to make noise, they've already roped you somewhere where you collected bribe yourself. Make noise and you are down.
As it's happening in the PDP, we will get to that.
So you find out that those in diaspora should not be quick in condemning people at home. It should be able to compare apple with apple. If you want to compare what's going on in Nigeria, you need to look around in developing countries. Africa, for example. Don't quit comparing Nigeria with America, Germany, and all that. No, we are still under incubation. Those people have gone there. The kind of crime they commit in Nigeria, financial crime and otherwise, if you do it in foreign country, you will be in jail. I can
But
give you
Tony,
a testimony of what is going on in America. No matter how highly placed, if you commit a crime, you go in for it. It's not like Nigeria. So what am I saying? If you look at Ghana, Ghana got their independence in 1957. Rwanda, they got their independence in 1962. Are we faring better than this country? No. So we should be able to compare people. South Africa is there. Are we doing better than South Africa? No. Why? Because of high corruption. We have more resources than Rwanda. We have more resources than Ghana. We have more resources than South Africa. But this thing belongs to some people. I was so amazed when I stumbled into statement made by Ahmadu Bello of blessed memory in the 60s, where he was so open to say that positions belong to the North and that for them to give any position to the other tribes, they must have exhausted those they have in the North. He was having an interview with a British journalist. And fast forward, compare the kind of a position the present regime did. Majority of the position were given to the Northerners. So what happened in the 60s? Some of them have not changed because they believe power belongs to the North. It's either you go along with the North or you'll be crushed. And that's why we have insecurity today. The thing that happens in the North, if it happens in the South, it will be punished. So we are having a lot of problem because the situation have not changed. We should not lose hope, but we should be bold enough. Nigerians should be bold enough to come out and say what they believe to be the truth and then the consequence. Because the moment we keep on fearing that we will not serve because we'll be killed, we are not helping the system.
yeah, and I think that many people share your sentiment, especially regarding the fact that what is happening in the North, sometimes may not be acceptable in the South. You remember Akeredolu, I think you brought it up with me earlier today, that Akeredolu, the governor of Ondo State, who has vowed to arm the state, the regional military, the Amotekun, because the federal government, you see, under another president, okay, decided to approve arming the state how do I say it, regional security outfit, the state regional security outfit in the North. They approved for them weapons, and whereas they said the regional security outfit, instituted and constituted by the major southwestern state, the federal government is saying that they cannot bear arms. So I must say that what you said, okay, a lot of people share it, and Governor Akeredolu actually said it, that he is going to, within the law, he is going to arm the Amotekun. Honestly speaking, I share everything you said. However, I still need you to dwell on this, because I think probably I may not have explained myself properly. Okay. When I said that, you see, elites, some of our elites in Nigeria, that whenever you see, and I think that most of them benefit from the rot in the system. That is the reason why they do this. Whenever people in the diaspora or whatever are sharing their frustration, are expressing their frustration, they are usually quick to lambast, to say, oh, they are criticizing the country. For instance, like the rice pyramid, when we realized that probably they actually constructed a structure that what we saw, okay, wasn't really full of rice. You see what I'm saying? You see, we got a lot of blowback when we did our show. Some of my friends criticized me and said, "It's Nigeria, leave it. Nigeria is trying. Let's see the best in our country." Blah 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 blah. It's as if it's a crime. Yeah. It's a crime. Look at the parachuting incident that actually happened. Okay, that created a lot of scoffufo among my friends, because I must say to you, one of my friends, a PhD holder, a scientist, who typically sees everything in a scientific manner, through the scientific lens. You see, made a comment and said, oh, they should have used simulators, okay, to ensure, and to enhance precision of landing, okay. And a couple of people, they started criticizing the guy. They started lambasting. And when I spoke to this friend of mine, what he said was that anytime people like us, we say things about the country, you see, they criticize and they say, you are not from Nigeria, you are living abroad, so who are you? Like Jude. I have heard a lot of criticism about Jude, that he stays abroad and is there commenting, saying all sort of whatever about the country. It's as if they are more Nigerian than us.
Yes,
so
yes.
Why I just want you to speak to them.
Okay.
I want you to tell you, honestly, this is my own opinion. I feel that there is beauty in diversity of opinion.
Correct.
Okay? We get things done better, okay, when we embrace diverse views.
Yeah.
That is my own thought about it. You just speak to it, then we go to Jude to just flesh it.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Lemboye. That's a very nice question. Let me back up a little bit. I always want to let our audience understand that we are not talking as if we are better than them. All of us are learners. We are learners. And all we do is that we compare opinions. And then we are open to criticism, because through criticism, we can grow.
Yeah, we grow.
Whoever does not really accept criticism does not require growth. So we are open to some good opinion, and then let it be evidence-based. Yeah. Let's be based on research, not just somebody waking up to criticize without evidence to back it up. Now, I go back to the governor of Ekiti State. Is it Ekiti State?
No, Ondo State, Akeredolu.
Ondo State, sorry, my mistake. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria. And I love the way he analyzed this issue of Katsina local security organization be armed. As a senior advocate of Nigeria, he knows the law, and he made it emphatically clear that this is a case of necessity, not a case of constitutionality. Because by the Constitution, the states are not empowered to arm any organization. That is the prerogative of the federal government to do that.
Yeah.
But in the South, we are facing what you call existential issue. Right. If we don't defend ourselves, they will clear the whole tribes in the South. Therefore, on the basis of necessity, Southern states should not wait for government to approve arming any of their security organization because it's so clear that if you don't defend yourself in the South, they will kill you and nothing will happen. We have several cases recorded on video, well documented, or where people have lost their life. So many have not been accounted for. So what are we saying is that whatever works for you that's within the Constitution to save your life, go for it. Because those who are dead, nobody has either paid compensation. The criminals have not been put to justice. So do you wait for somebody to kill you before you fight? Dead men do not fight. So what we are saying is that wherever you are, see how you can contribute in whatever way that is legal to see Nigeria grow. Because if you look at the whole system, it's like anytime anything happens, all we get from the federal government sometimes is silence. So the best bet we can do is to work together. Make sure that whoever has legitimate contribution should be kind of
listen to
understand that. Yes, that
listen to. Let's listen.
We listen to all and sundry. Listen to them. Together, we can move Nigeria forward.
Thank you so much, Jude. Okay, the question was about people, mostly elites that are quick to criticize, those benefiting from the system, that are quick to criticize people like you, like Tony, like me, that live abroad, and then we shuttle, we do all that. They are quick to criticize whenever we bring up, sensitive issues. And it's as if they want to show to their paymasters that, yes, this is us defending Nigeria. It's as if they are kowtowing, to their paymasters. So I must say that was the bone of the question. However, we delved into the Amotekun issue. The federal government approving the arming of the regional security outfit in Katsina. Yeah, I think yes, and not approving, arming Amotekun. So we delved into that. If you can just flesh it, you have the whole time in the world to express your view.
Yeah, thank you. For the first question you asked, people who actually criticize us for speaking about Nigeria. Well, first thing I have to say to them is that we are Nigerians as well. You cannot deny us for being Nigeria. We can decide to travel to Nigeria tomorrow, come back next day. For the fact that we live here does not mean that we're not Nigerians. And I've just said in my earlier statement that 24 billion is sent every day to Nigeria from diasporans to Nigeria.
Not from diaspora panels.
No, from that Nigerian diaspora to Nigeria in Nigeria. So that means if not for us, the country in Nigeria would have collapsed. An average Nigerian in diaspora sends money home.
Yeah, and even the federal government actually instituted measures and programs to lure Nigerians to send money. They said
even the illegal undocumented people who are working here, who are hiding, they still work and they send money because if they don't do that, the family will collapse, they will die, people will die. Yeah. So they have to give a thumb up for that. We are destroying the country, and I will tell those people to shut up their mouth that we are the one that is holding Nigerians. We are the one that's holding that country high. You should give us a like for what we are doing. It should give us a praise for what we are doing so that we can be able to sustain that country.
Let me buttress this, and I want to be a little bit forceful here. Permit me to be, please. We are not milking the system. Okay? An average elite is milking the system, but we are not. We are working hard in the diaspora, bending our knees, breaking our back to make money. And today alone, I've received so many requests for funds from my people in Nigeria. I'm not blaming them. I blame the country. I blame the political elite.
Exactly.
For what they have done to that country. So let us say it and let us hold our head high up there. We in the diaspora, we are a major player in the country we call Nigeria. Without us, Nigeria will be on our knees. Even the president cannot dispute what I have said. So Jude, you can continue. I think you have made perfect sense here. Thank you for that, Jude.
Thank you, Dr. Kunle. That is the point I'm trying to make him know, that without us, there's no Nigeria. Let us put it that way. Because every family here sends money home. There's no one here, whether documented, whether he's having his papers or whatever, as soon as they land to this country, they start remitting money home. So please give us thumb up. Encourage us to work hard. There's nowhere you go here and go and eat pepper soup. There's nowhere you wake up in the night after job, you want to go and socialize. Everyone is hard on their knees working.
Busy.
There's no chance for anyone here to ask people who are where to do it. When they come here, they don't like here, they want to go back to Nigeria because that's where they enjoy themselves. There's no enjoyment in anywhere in the world, even America, Europe, London, Dublin, anywhere you are, there's nowhere you can say, I want to enjoy myself. So why are they signing up? Anyway, that's out of it. I've just said it, and they should go and ask if they don't know. They should ask other Nigerians what you're saying. If you probably we can get some callers who can help us on this issue, because today is Nigerian independence. I wish we have Nigerians to call in to express themselves as well, because we are here. Yeah, if they can call in,
the number is scrolling on the screen. Please give us a call, +35387 226 5271. Please call us on WhatsApp. Let's hear your view, and we would appreciate it if you can call.
Let me just go ahead. I just want to add something to what you said that interested me.
Yeah.
Jude was mentioned without Nigeria. I mean, without the diaspora people sending money, there won't be Nigeria. I just want to quickly kind of differentiate. Without remitting money to our families, there won't be families again.
There won't be.
Because the people who are controlling Nigeria, with or without diaspora's remittance, they will always survive because they are the one having our money.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jude.
That was why I said that we are not milking the system.
Correct.
We are putting money into the system. So permit us to call out the rot. Permit us. That is my message to them. To those people that are quick to condemn, to say, "Wow, you are not living here." You see, a lot of complaints, you see, were directed to Jude. There was a time we did a program. It directed it, and I'm happy that we stood our ground. You see, we didn't kowtow to anyone, and we said, "Listen, Jude is a Nigerian. He has his family in Nigeria, and he put his money where his mouth is. Okay, he sends money home, and people are surviving through him. So you cannot say that he doesn't have any right to call out the rot in the system. You know what? We have spent 44 minutes. And I thought this would be like a 20 minutes segment. Yeah. But I'm happy we discussed this. We can do a follow-up show maybe next week to tackle this. But before we move on to the next segment, let me just share this in 30 seconds. The woman that I said I met, a 70-year-old woman, entered University of Ibadan in 1968. And she told me, she said, When she entered University of Ibadan, the government was giving her bursary, and the bursary was enough to pay her tuition. The bursary was enough for her to feed for the whole year. And she said that she would pay 15 kobo a day and to receive, a meal morning, a meal in the afternoon, and a meal in the evening. And the meals were 3-course meals. And she also said, they would give them toilet rolls. They would give them, room, or they would kind of wash, dry clean, 10 pieces of clothing every week for them. And the woman said it all. He talked about what Jude said, the cars, the whatever. And the woman said that, she is feeling extremely saddened by the way Nigeria has turned. And this is for you. The people saying that we are Nigerians. We should see the best in our country. We are seeing the best in our country. But what we are calling, especially people in the diaspora, we are not calling for Yoruba nation, whatever nation. We want Nigeria to remain as one indivisible country.
Correct.
You see, with our diversity, we become stronger. I strongly believe that. But what we are saying is that when we see a rot, we'll call it out. We'll say, no, we need you to change the system. So I want to say a big thank you for doing justice to this. Let's just move on to the elephant in the room.
Please,
what is making news?
There's a caller in, if you don't mind me to take a call.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, caller.
Do they want to talk? Do they want to talk on these issues?
Yeah, my name is Uche. I don't know. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can. Uche.
My name is Uche. I don't know. Can you hear me clearly? Yes, we can. Yeah. Dr. Kule, Mr. Jude, Onowu Jude, and Dr. Eze, I suppose. Thank you for doing justice to what you are doing. Representing diaspora, Nigerians, in diaspora. Unfortunately, I did not get the beginning of the topic, but Jude just sent me the topic of the day, which is why we should celebrate Nigerian independence.
Yeah, correct.
And I don't know how far you guys have gone in this discourse. All the same, I heard Dr. Kule saying that it is better to be in one indivisible country, which I suppose he supports. Unfortunately, I have a different idea to his.
That's okay.
Opinion.
That's okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yes. Just spill it. Just say it. It's okay.
Me why, and if you ask me why, I would ask many of us here to tell us why you should be proud to be a Nigerian going forward, seeing what's happening in Nigeria at this point. You just made a mention of a lady telling us how she has enjoyed her life while she was in the University of Ibadan. Can you say something like that at this time? So anybody who is still feeling kind of a Nigerian, I will tell you that the person is getting it all wrong, because there is no more Nigeria. When we're having Nigeria, I'm not a baby, I happen to be part of those days that I used to enjoy Nigeria, but it's no more. So it's no more. I have come to realize that there is no way, even the the obedience going on right now. We can all see how people are happy having obedience. Today is Independent Day as far as Nigeria is concerned. And you see how even in Lagos, simultaneously in other states, in Delta State, we had in Asaba and Warri, in other states. And you can see the multitude of supporters is having from the youth. But the issue, what can Peter do? What can Peter Obi do to change the situation we have at hand at the moment?
Yeah. Uche.
So I am beginning to feel that this is just a game. Please, Mr. Eze, please just allow me a moment.
Okay.
I want to ask if you put me before Peter Obi now, I will ask him just few questions. And the question I will ask him is, how is he going to change Nigeria? How is he going to change the mindset of the Fulanis that they own Nigeria? How is he going to stop them from having the mentality that they own Nigeria and the other ethnic nationalities are slaves? How is he going to change the fact that Delta, Niger Delta as they call it, or South, have oil for Nigeria, but the North have gold for northern states? How is he going to change that? So we should not be deceiving ourselves. Let us be just, truthful to ourselves and know where we are going. Except we agree to come together as a nation, we go through referendum, let everybody decide if you want to be a Nigerian, and then we work out a modality, to be a Nigerian. The way it is now, I will honestly tell you, nobody is proud to be a Nigerian except Dr. Kule.
And not me alone. And Tony Eze and
Uche.
I can come up again. I will come up.
Uche, we don't have all the time.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks a
If
lot.
I can quickly come in.
Let me just try to Jude, can you please end the call if it's done?
Yeah, it's already.
Yes,
he has
yes.
come.
Let me tell you, Uche is a frequent caller from Russia. He was the guy that gave us the in-depth details about the Russia-Ukraine war. He is a frequent contributor on Diaspora Global panel. So, Tony.
Yes. Uche, thank you for calling. You and I and the rest of the panelists, we are in the same page. We are on the same boat.
Yeah.
All we are saying is that worldwide, you have never changed a government through force or military.
Thank you.
It's always constitutional.
Yeah.
Nature does not allow vacuum. We cannot have a conference without a government. We believe that we need a dialogue. We need a complete change of 1999 Constitution.
Yeah.
It's an aberration. Yeah. That's a military decree. And the only way we can do it is not to allow an election. The only way we can do it is for all hands to be on deck. We need to allow a government. Whoever you know, Mr. Uche and the rest of the audience, go and vote. Whoever the Nigerian masses legitimately voted for, we need to accept it. That is the first step.
And support.
When we have any government that are constitutionally elected by Nigerians, whether P2B or any person, the next step is agitation for conference so that Nigerians decide what they want, not a few cabal, whether Fulani oligarchy or whatever. I will refer Uche to Google and listen to almost 60 years of what Ahmadu Bello of blessed memory said about, because they did not believe that Nigeria belonged to them. The only way we can do it is through constitutional conference, because the present government of the day still went with the idea of what Ahmadu Bello said about outposts going to the north.
Yes.
So nothing have changed from independence because the north
at least at inception
exactly.
of his government.
The ideology still believe that the north should take decision about Nigeria. Every other person should follow. How do we do that? It is not through by violence. It's not through stopping election. We need a conference table, and the only way we can do it is that support the coming election. So when people are voted into power, people of your choice, people who can reason constitutionally, not by violence, so that we can have a conference. Because this idea have been disrupting election and INEC issues in the Southeast especially, because people believe that there shouldn't be election, there must be a constitutional conference. It's not going to happen that way. And the Southeast is going to lose if we don't cooperate with the rest of the Nigeria to put a government in place in 2023, so that at the end of the day, we will have opportunity to have a national conference where we decide the final fate of Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, Dr. Kule, there's a question here. It's asking if he might call back again.
Yes.
Dr. Kule,
yeah.
The caller is asking, which is asking if he can call back again.
Yes, he can call back, but maybe for 2 minutes, because we don't want to go over the 1 hour mark. So let him call back. It's okay. Because then he's a frequent contributor, and he has made, some important, contributions on our program. So let's just have him. Hello. Yes, the floor is yours. Please, just for two minutes.
Hello, Dr. Kule. Thank you for having me back and accepting my call again.
Yes, it's okay. We always.
I'll be very brief.
Okay. Yeah.
It's okay. I heard what Mr. Eze said about Southeast or the Fulanis. I must tell you that this has nothing to do with the Fulanis. This has nothing to do with the Southeast. This is the mentality we all have as so-called Nigerians. I will, if you permit me, in 1960.
Yes. Just continue. Just don't worry about the feedback.
Okay. In 1960, Hamadu Bello ruthlessly, I will just quote him what he said in 1960. Unfortunately, our forefathers from the other side of the country did not take it seriously. But this is what he said. Let me quote him. We must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. We use the minorities in the north as willing tools and the south as the conquered territory, and never allow them to rule over us, and never allow them to have control over their own future. This is a quote from Ahmadu Bello.
Mr. Uche. Hello.
October 12, 1960.
Hello, Mr. Uche. Let me come in here.
So
you see exactly what Tony said. And Tony, yes, exactly what Tony said. And Tony quoted this. He quoted
Mr. Uche, we are listening.
Okay. So I'm thinking that we have an alignment of views. It's just that the way we are expressing ourselves is a little bit different. But our views somehow align. And on Diaspora Global Panel, we have said it. We did a show on whether Nigeria should remain as one. And unequivocally, we said, okay, let us have some form of regional government so that each region can control their own resources, at least for a start. at least for a start. Because what Tony is saying is that we have to be cautious for us to achieve, you see, our goals and objectives, which is to see each region, okay, handling their affairs. We need the North to cooperate with us to achieve it. That is just what Tony is saying. So I would like to say a big thank you to you for joining us. I would really appreciate. We have still our time has still over the 1 hour mark, so we can have you back next week to just continue to have the beautiful views that you have shared with us.
If
We
it's
really
time, I can allow
appreciate
that. I wanted to chip in one other thing, but if you say there is no time, okay, I wait next time.
Okay, thank you, and I really appreciate.
Thank you for joining.
I will really appreciate it. Thank you. We'll talk again next week. Okay, so Jude, can you end the call?
Yeah, it's ended. I told you.
So for us, okay, we have done a show, and on that show we have said, listen, we advocate for, you see, what we had, you know, a little bit post-independent, that let each region handle their resources. We have advocated for rotational, you know, presidency, and we know where that has gotten us. Okay, I am thinking that I want to align, you know, behind Tony's opinion, and which is, you know, we need the North to actualize whatever we are clamoring for. It can never be by force, because if we do it by force, we will fail. We understand the mindset that Uche shared, and that Jude has said long time ago. And most of the things Uche said, I must say, Jude, Tony, yes. It's as if Uche had listened to you. And exactly. I am sure he didn't listen to you. Those were his views. And you have shared a lot of similar opinion about, you know, the situation, about the way forward, you know. And I must say that, you know, we appreciate him for what he has done. I would like to have him back here.
Correct.
With us next week to continue, because I think this is a sensitive issue. Correct. Tony, let him, or should I leave the floor to Jude, or let Jude wrap up? Tony, let me the floor to you.
I will just because our time mark and our mark is gone. I'll just chip in. Uche made a very, very, very important conclusions. All we are just saying is that the only solution to Nigerian problem is fair and clear election. Because why these politicians are dealing with the rest of us is because there is no fair and safe election in Nigeria. Rigging of election is in uppermost level. If INEC can reduce rigging of election to a very minimal level, Nigeria will go places. Because what is happening to Nigeria is that all tribes know the solution to our problem. But because the professional politician knows that they will always rig the election, there are some areas that election have been concluded before the election. So it's like when people are making noise or making their views known, they don't listen, because it's like, okay, waste your time. At the end of the day, we know what you're going to do. There was a very pathetic place in Imo State, a ward belonging to the current governor. They know the actual population of the people. But somebody digged in and discovered that the population they are putting as registered voters is more than 10 times more than the actual population of people who are eligible to vote in that ward. So the moment we come out speaking in Nigeria, we're going to have a fair and good election result. And those who want to superimpose their opinion on us will be kicked out. And then at the end of the day, whatever proposal we want to make, they're going to listen. They are not listening because they rig election. And then to what the opinion or the prospect of what Nigerians want to do. So we appreciate Uche for joining, and I encourage other listeners to do likewise.
Yeah, thank you. Jude, over to you. You have the floor. Take as much time as you want, please.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to talk about concerns of Uche here. Uche is one of the brain drain that left the country. I know that Uche, I know him very well. He has about 2 or 3 master's degree.
And I think he's doing his PhD now in Russia.
Yeah, he's doing his PhD. He did political science as a 4th degree. So these are people who would have come out, and it's outspoken. It could have been the leaders of Nigeria today. But these are the guys who have to leave the country because there's nothing for them. I mean, and you don't expect this kind of people to be happy when things are going wrong. They have to voice out their anger. And millions of people like this all over the world. Nigerians out of the country. And what are we doing? Nigeria is 62 years old. He's not a baby anymore. This is a grandfather. And he just mentioned about referendum. A grandfather, a home that has been scattered and they don't know a way about. What is wrong about saying, oh, I'm a grandfather now, let's ask my children, what do they want? That's what he's trying to say here. I mean, it's simple. And they won't allow people to do it. No referendum, no people have no voice to say. After 62 years, an old man still have no mouth to talk in his own home. It is appalling that we are talking about independence where we are not, where we would have, the worst thing that annoys me that when the British government left Nigeria, they left with everything. They did not occupy any position like the French governments do. There is no member of British Parliament in Nigerian constitution, in a Nigerian system.
They left us. They left us in society.
They did not leave anything behind. Say, okay, there's something here. They let us to manage ourselves fully. That's why I respect the British, because they give us full autonomy to do whatever you want. And still, 62 years, an adult cannot still check his sense and see, what am I doing wrong? And we are talking about celebrate. That's why I'm saying it's a day of mourning for me and for people who have lost their life. I'm going to say that because I know what I'm feeling. I know people around me, how they felt. And I know there are people who are crying today because they lost people home, the family members. And they don't want to see the shit in the TV talking about people speaking about Nigeria. How do you say what do you call the anthem? Nigeria we come together. What Nigeria we head? Or what do they call it? I mean, it's useless when Nigeria has no base for the Nigerians, and you're making a coming out to say today to celebrate what? With hunger, with no light, with no food, nowhere to go. People want to fly out. Open the airport. Ask our British government to give us free passport. Ask America. No,
I don't think there will be anybody left in
yeah.
So what I'm talking about? What should we celebrate Nigeria? Mourn for Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Let me just say this, okay? Tony, I want to just call something out because, you said this some time ago. You said, hey, guys, what is happening between these people, Uche, Atiku, and so on, is about money. And honestly speaking, you are an oracle. The news broke. You see, let me just say this in 30 seconds. The news broke, and we heard that PDP, NW, the National Working Committee members shared money. They shared money raised from the sale of the presidential nomination forms. And some of them collected 28 million naira and 30-something million naira. And we know that one of the executives or past executive of the PDP NWC, Kola Ologbon Diyan, said that the money was legitimately earned, and Uche alleged that, that Senator Ayu, the PDP chairman, received 1 billion naira from a presidential hopeful. We know that he was talking about Atiku, that Atiku paid him 1 billion naira. We don't know how far that is true. But the point is this. What you said, is playing out in the public glare. I want you to just quickly comment on it, and let's call it a day.
Yes, very, very brief. You see, if you live in America, when you see what is happening in Africa, you talk like a professor because you see it every day.
Even in America.
I said very clear in some of our episodes that when you hear politicians fighting in Nigeria, number one, they have no philosophy. Number two, they don't fight for the common man. It's all about sharing of money. And if they don't get themselves handy with money or position, they will be deceiving the masses on the TV screen that they are fighting. They are not fighting for anything. They are fighting of money. And this has proved us right.
Thank you so much. So I think at this junction, we can call it a day, barring any more comments from Jude. Should we call it a day?
Yeah, well, that's fine. Uche was trying to do some tests, some chat on the board, and saying that the British did not leave us without that I made a mistake for saying that. He can.
It's okay. We can have him on.
Yeah.
Let's just have him on next.
Yes.
We come in next week, and he can explain.
Yeah,
himself.
he can join us.
Yeah,
and if he can even join us via video, that would be okay.
Exactly.
We don't mind.
Right.
Let's just have him next
Cool.
week.
Dr. Kunle, Uche just kind of corrected it, because what Jude is talking about is political independence.
Yeah, I know.
Economic independence. The British did not leave us alone.
Yeah.
Most of the decisions that have been going on in Nigeria, the British were not concerned because
Chief Tony, please, can we keep this secret in next week so that we can have enough to say?
Yes, because let's just have it next week. So our viewers should just expect a powerful episode next week, and we'll try as much as possible to have Mr. Uche from Russia. He has been a fantastic contributor on the Diaspora Global Panel, and he did. And I want our viewers to watch the video. The video we had Mr. Uche from Russia on it when the war between Ukraine and Russia broke. And he gave us an in-depth analysis of what we didn't know. So hopefully he will be able to join us next week. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. We want to say a big thank you to Anthony Eze and Juduwa Okolo for joining today. And I would like to thank myself for joining as well. Please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We will see you again next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.